A very warm welcome to the 56th meeting of Personal Growth Leaders. We were formed on 15th of January last year, and we had our first anniversary celebration recently, where past international president Richard Peck was there with us. It was great to have him. Today, the theme of the meeting is International Mother Language Day, which is on 21st of February. Day after tomorrow. And being an international club with members across the globe, this theme is quite an interesting one. And when this was mentioned in our chat group, the members chat group, there was interesting discussion that was taking place. For example, there was Dr. Akinyi who said that Habari is missing. And I was thinking, what is Habari? And it is a Swahili language in Africa. So interesting. So we never knew about Habari. So it's quite interesting. And then Arthur mentioned about Muli Bwanji. And I was thinking, what is Muli Bwanji? It seems it's how are you, I think, Arthur? And yes. It's Chichewa language in Malawi.
Chichewa from Malawi.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Arthur. Interesting. So we have such an amazing variety here. And to kick this off, I would like to ask each and every one of us here to say hello in our own language. And if it is English, that's okay. Hello. Hello is very good. So please, shall I ask Sabaria to say hello in, I don't know, Malaysian, is it?
Malaysian, it's called Bahasa Melayu. We say salam, or which also is meaning in Arabic. Also, sometimes we say pagi, as in good morning. Yeah, Ricky? Oh, that's another language. That's the main language. We have other languages here. Okay, back to you. Kathy.
Well, of course, it's hello here, but in my native language, it's howdy, y'all, because I'm originally from Texas. So I was joking about that in the comments, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
I see, Ricky, maybe you want to say in your mother tongue, how do you greet? Hello?
Okay, well, I know a few languages. So in the Chinese Mandarin, it is 早安, 早安. But in my own dialect, Cantonese dialect, which is used in Hong Kong, it is 早晨, 早晨 dialect.
Yeah. Ray, my assumption is maybe go ahead. Do you have another mother tongue other than English?
No other language. I've taken Spanish but English is my language. And of course, here in Chicago, it would be hello or good morning, good afternoon, good evening would be the forms of address.
Thank you very much, Ray. Sanjeev, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I say, usually we say namaste in Hindi. So when we greet somebody, when you meet somebody first time in the morning, then we say namaste. How are you? Like, aap kaise ho in Hindi. So namaste is very trending.
Thank you, Sanjeev.
In my language, yeah. Thank you.
Sarah Gauri, would you like to say what your mother tongue is and hello in your mother tongue?
Usually at home, we would say Kalai Vanakkam, or good morning is also what we usually use at home. English is my home. But in Tamil, we would say Kalai Vanakkam as a greeting.
It's Tamil. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sarah Gauri. Kaushal?
Well, in my mother tongue, Sanjeev already covered namaste, but I'm actually starting to study Japanese because I plan to visit Japan next year. So I'll just say konnichiwa.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Konnichiwa. And we have guest Kajan. Where are you from? Welcome.
I'm from Malaysia.
Okay. So your greeting would be similar to what Sabaria said, is it?
Yeah, basically, yes, correct. Because in many people in my country can speak up to 3 to 4 languages.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
Malaysia has got people from many countries there, isn't it? Yes, absolutely. Yes. Arthur, would you like to say?
In my language, we say Mulwanji and Mulwanji, like our Toastmaster of the day rightly said, means how are you?
Muli Bwanji, yes. Thank you.
Yes. And you answer Didi Bueno.
Okay, thank you. And Anvita, would you like to say in your mother tongue?
Yeah, sure. My mother tongue is Tulu, and we say namaskara, which is similar to namaste in Hindi. It means hello. And another greeting is Tolmelu, which means good morning in Tulu. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Anvita. And now I would like to ask our grammarian of this meeting, Kathy Draper, to give us the word of the meeting. Thank you very much, Kathy.
Our word of the day, I thought of something that would go along with our mother tongues, mother languages, because one of the benefits of being part of this club is that we meet people from all over the world. So I selected the word excursion. It is similar to expedition. I actually have it in the chat. It is to go forth, to go out and go forth. So I thought that would be something that would expand our vocabulary, but would be easy to incorporate, hopefully with our table topics or our speaking today. So the word of the day is excursion. And I even put in the chat how to pronounce it in case you're not understanding exactly how I'm saying it. But you can actually read in there how the pronunciation. So excursion is the word of the day.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And this is an interesting club that we have where we go on excursion every week without actually leaving our home. So it's interesting club we have in terms of that. In terms of the meeting, how we conduct, it's the PI, the prepared speeches, then impromptu speaking, and then evaluations. So we have 3 sections for a meeting. And today we have one speech from Arthur, and his evaluator is Ricky. So I would like to ask Ricky to help us with, if you know Ricky, I think the things changed a little bit quickly. So if you know the objectives, please do inform what the objectives of Arthur's speech are, or Arthur himself can tell you as well. Thank you very much.
Sorry, am I supposed to say something?
Yeah,
The points
no, it's
about the
okay.
speech, right?
It's okay. Arthur, if you can tell us what the objectives of your speech are, and please begin the speech. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. So my speech is the last elective in project in level 5, which is focusing on preparing to speak professionally. And the main purpose of the speech is to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. It will take 18 to 22 minutes, a keynote style speech. And I will not be using visual aids. I didn't have enough time to set the visual aids when things changed about 20 minutes ago. So that's the title of my speech. Sorry, that's the purpose of my speech, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Arthur. And please begin your speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good day, Toastmasters, and good day, our beloved guests. I am very confident that most of you have been in positions where you have to manage relationships. Some of you have to manage clients. Some of you may be CEOs somewhere or directors. And some of you may be in development, which means you are going to work with clients and others and stakeholders every now and then. Toastmaster of the day, members, and our beloved guests. Today, I would like to share just a few important skills or tips that we need to have in order to manage our clients, to manage our relationships, professional relationships. We aim to have healthy relationships with our clients and to keep the relationship a happy relationship. So I'm going to structure my address in three main parts. So the first one, I will talk about what it means to manage stakeholders. And then number two, I will talk about how you can adapt communication styles to ensure that your clients and stakeholders are happy, or in order to nurture very healthy relationship with your clients. And then the last part, which is a very important part, will focus on how you can manage conflicts. In any business setup, there will be conflicts to manage. Conflicts will arise in many ways. As such, we will explore how conflicts arise and then how we can deal with such conflicts. So what do we mean when we talk about stakeholder management or client management? I will be using stakeholder management and client management interchangeably. So for you to note, number one, when you're managing stakeholders, you're basically combining various considerations. You're combining processes and also communication. You're basically ensuring that you communicate what you want to the clients or to the stakeholders, but also you absorb their interests. You're ensuring that the relationship is mutually beneficial. They see value in what you're providing to them. You also see value in what they're going to give in return. It could be a profit relationship. It may also be something different, maybe just a partnership. For those that are working in development, you will know that you can never thrive if you don't have very good partnerships with others. We have heard that at an individual level, your network is your net worth. You can use your networks to thrive. And in the same way, when you're working for organizations or businesses, your clients or your clientele are everything. Your stakeholders are everything. You will need to make sure that you are using every skill you have to keep this relationship a happy relationship. Why do we need to manage stakeholders carefully? If you want to make impact in your job, if you want to make impact in any way, whether it's your business or organization, better impact will come with the satisfied clients. It will come with clients that are willing to use your recommendations. If you're a research organization, for example, they would use your recommendations because they trust you. And so managing stakeholders and clients is a trust relationship that must be nurtured. And it is very, very important for us to manage this in a different way in order to improve the impact goals, to increase the social impact potential of any initiatives that we're doing. When you're doing excellent management of stakeholder relationships, you are assured that you're going to have a better experience with a client. A client will be happy with you. They will always recommend you for any openings that may be there or any opportunities that may arise. But also, your team is going to be satisfied because you're going to be able to see results. And the team that can see results being shown is the team that will always gear for more, all things being equal, ceteris paribus. So it is extremely important to make sure that the stakeholder relationships, the client relationships are managed for you to increase impact. The second thing that I want to talk about is communication. At the center of managing professional relationships is communication. If you don't know how to communicate, there's a high chance you're not going to succeed. So the way you communicate with your clients or stakeholders will help you to reach better heights. Isn't it the whole reason why we are Toastmasters in the first place? We want to know how to communicate. It's not just about public speaking. It's also about person-to-person communication. We need to adapt our communication styles. And if you can frame something differently, it'll have a different meaning. I'll give you an example. This is a slightly different example, but it will still send the meaning that I'm trying to send forth. Number one, you want to fire someone in your organization. There are two ways. First one would be, you're fired. And that's it. The person gets fired. Second one is you take the person through the process. You tell the person the challenges that you faced and what you're not able to do. And you take them through in a very careful manner that when they leave the office, they should leave feeling comfortable, although the decision is a heavy one. You don't have to trap them, all their hopes shattering. So it's in the way you communicate. You can communicate the same message in a different way. Now, there are a few things that I want to mention here, especially when you're dealing with clients. This is basically communication styles. As you understand, when dealing with clients, you want to make sure that you get their views, but also you put your points across. When do you use what type of communication? I'll talk about two important principles. The first principle is your listening skills, your ability to listen. And then the second bit would be asserting. Why do we need to listen more? Why do we need to be assertive? There's a very, very important question that I want us to understand. When you're listening, you're basically paying attention to what your client is saying, the views of your client. You're paying attention, you're asking the right questions, and you're exploring their thinking. The person you're communicating to is the center. You give them all the opportunity to express themselves. If they're unhappy with you, you listen carefully to understand why they're unhappy with you, but also what they need to make this relationship mature. Then the second bit is about asserting. This is very effective, especially when you're negotiating. It could be you're negotiating for contracts. You're negotiating for budgets. You want to make some improvements. You're trying to make some trade-offs, and you have set your limits. This is where you have to assert. And this is where you are trying to convince the other party by stating your own views and providing supporting rationale that is going to help you communicate what you want and at least get what you want. So in all this, there's a cycle of things that needs to be achieved. When you're listening, what do you need to do? Number one, you need to be very open-minded. You have to release your agenda. In this case, like I said earlier, your client or stakeholder is the center of your communication. You're paying all the attention to them. So release your agenda, open your mind. You suspend what you would like for a moment just to listen. The very important thing is for you to be very open-minded, but also be considerate of the other people's views. You need to attend to your speaker very carefully. Pay attention. Show that you're listening to them with sincerity. You need to give them confidence that they're not speaking to someone who is already judged, who is already made up their mind. That way, you're going to come up with a good solution to anything that you're facing or you want to deal with. As Toastmasters, you know how you show that you're listening. You will be nodding where you need to nod. Gestures, you need to use your gestures, eye contact, such things. The things that we have learned in our earlier projects as Toastmasters. Those are very, very important as well when you're doing client management. And when you have listened, before you even say anything, you have to make sure that you are sure that they understand that you understand. And in order for you to do this better, you can use your skills. You can amplify the voice. You can state what your client has said in your own words and confirm. If there's a misunderstanding, he or she will correct you that this is not what I mean. So you build on the information that you've been provided with. And after that, you reflect what you heard. So that's more about listening. And then when it comes to asserting, it is also pretty much of a similar process. However, here is where you communicate your agenda. You need to be very firm to say, this is what I want us to get out of this meeting. Be clear about the agenda. And in that case, you have to give the client an opportunity to also reflect on the agenda that you have raised. And after that, you need to express yourself very respectfully. It is very important to pursue this from the angle that your client would benefit. For example, if what they're looking for is a deal, when you're expressing, what you're communicating should be centered at what they're looking for. And you provide vivid point of view, your own point of view, to make sure that you're communicating what you're looking for. And it is very important for you to be very strong, because when it comes to this, you don't want the agenda to change. You need to stay within the agenda that you have. As Toastmasters as well, we have to use all the skills that we have to communicate, to emphasize the points that we have. In this case, you have to use your gestures right to make sure that you're emphasizing and you persist. So being a negotiation, you know where you have to go. And for that to happen, you can compromise, but don't compromise too much. This will give you an opportunity to get a good bargain. Like it is very important, however, to know that this is a mutual relationship. It's always a give and give. Other people like to call it give and take. No, it's a give and give. So you have to understand that you have to give into something because the other person will also do the same. If not, then there's no deal. This is where you can use a different type of language to make sure that you're all getting to the same point. Very important points to consider is you always have to be prepared. You have to understand why you're in the conversation. You have to communicate very, very clearly your expectations and respect your client. So these are some of the most important things that we need when communicating. The last part that I want to talk about is conflict. In any stakeholder relationship, conflicts will arise, mostly because people are pursuing different things. If what you want is not in alignment with what your client wants, then there's going to be a conflict. You will not agree. However, it is your duty to make sure that you get to an agreement, or if you can't get to an agreement, at least there has to be a level where you mutually agree to part ways respectfully, because you do not want a relationship like this to be a lose. You don't want to lose at all. And you also don't want the client to take advantage of the client. As such, you have to make sure that what you're communicating, what you're agreeing by the end of the day benefits everyone. It is extremely important to know. So there are two main conflicts that you may face. Number one, you may have a client who's very aggressive. And when someone is very aggressive, you know that they want it their way. Or you may have another person or a stakeholder who is covert, passive aggressive. How do you manage that to still keep the relationship going? Very important things that you have to understand is when a conflict is overt, someone is very, very aggressive, it is very important for you to use more of the listening skills that we talked about. Pay attention, let them speak their mind, listen to them, reflect their thought process. And if you see that the person is still high in energy and you can't agree, suspend the conversation and meet another day. Take it from there. When it comes to a covert relationship, this is the most difficult to handle because the person won't communicate at all. They will just show you their displeasure. You know, the passive aggressive type. It's not easy for you to address this if you don't know how to get around it. It is extremely important for you to engage the person, be very open, surface the issue, and focus on the relationship. This is where a setting is required. And you want to make sure that by the end of the day, you get to some specific agreements that benefit the both of you. So with people that are passive aggressive, always make sure that you ask them to open up. If they cannot open up, it is also fine. You just have to communicate what you want to get out of it and how resolving this will be more beneficial. And you can decide to continue or not, but emphasize that the relationship is more important to you. So that's where you also negotiate a lot. The difference with someone who is very overt is that they will just say it, and you know what they're feeling. So it's very much easier when you listen, and then at a later day you can, or at a later time, you can communicate and get to a point. Toastmasters, guests, and beloved members. Navigating client and stakeholder relationships is not easy, but it is also very easy when you understand the type of people that you're going to deal with. So in this presentation, we focus on talking about stakeholder management, what it entails, but also how we can adapt to different communication styles and how you can manage conflict. All this will help you navigate relationships better. Trust yourself.
Thank you very much, Arthur. And to think about that, you did this speech impromptu in a way. You were supposed to do some other speech and you have done this 18 to 22 minute speech. Indicates how flexible you are in terms of your speeches. So thank you very much. Huge round of applause to Arthur. So we have come to the first section of end of the first section, which is the prepared speeches. Now we go to the second section, which is the impromptu speeches or the table topics. And to lead us in the table topic session, I would like to welcome Sanjeev Kumar Sharma to the virtual stage. Applause to Sanjeev.
Yeah, hello everyone. So I'll be run through some topics I have chosen for today session. So I'll just share something and I will go through one by one. I'll assign the topic randomly to each one of you, and each one of you have to speak for 2 minutes. And if anyone wants to follow up, they can follow up for another 1 minute. So let me share my presentation. Is my presentation visible to everyone?
Yes.
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 Okay. So just to start with of the first topic, I'll just run through this. Yeah. So this topic goes to Arthur. One fine morning, if you get a lottery of 10 million, what you'll do? Over to you, Arthur.
One fine morning, if I get a lottery of 10 million, what will I do? That is a very good question. I have always wanted to have a fat bank account. Having a 10 million, I'll obviously stuff that money in my bank account. And then I'll announce that I'm no longer a thousandaire. I'm a millionaire. I don't know what currency it is, but there's euro there. Millionaire in euros. After that, I will use the money to help people that I like to work with in my spare time. Refugees. When I look at what refugees go through, I always feel like we can always make our homes a home for them. I would use part of this money, not all of it, just part of it, to bring a few refugees in my own place, support their education, and make their children happy. 10 million euros is not little money. I would help people and still remain a millionaire in euros. Table topics, master.
Yeah. Thanks, Arthur. That's a very noble idea. Yeah, so moving to the next topic is, this goes to Anvita. What you do when you suddenly hear a roaring tiger behind you?
Good things comes to those who wait. Good day, Toastmasters and your guests. If I hear a roaring tiger behind me, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to stand still and wait for the tiger to just pass. What can I do? If I run extremely fast or even slow for that matter, the tiger will definitely chase me. Of course, I have learned some kung fu moves after watching the movie Kung Fu Panda, but I don't think that I would like to try this on Panda. No, I don't want to take that risk. Maybe I'll try it with my siblings, but not with the tiger. I have a mobile phone, of course. I love clicking pictures, but do you really think that I can snap a pic of tiger at this point? No, I don't think so. Probably the flash will irritate tiger some more and it is definitely going to have its meal. Other thing which I can do is just pretend that I'm dead. But what if this tiger has a fetish of eating dead people? Then I'll be really dead. So I cannot try this method too. What if I try to be extremely bold? Probably I'll strangulate the tiger or I'll just shoo it away like a dog. Now, this is called as overconfidence. There is a very thin line between confidence and overconfidence. And I have realized in my life that overconfidence can be really detrimental, that can take away your life. And this is one of these instances. That is why I'm not going to take any action on the tiger. The last option is to do nothing. Just stand still, probably pray to God in order to rescue yourself from the situation, or just meditate. That is the best solution. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, don't do anything. Probably the tiger will think that you're crazy, or probably you're some sort of a different person who is not reacting to it, and it will just go away. So, dear Toastmasters, whether a roaring tiger is behind you or not, this trick of doing nothing will really work. Whenever you're stressed at work, stop doing anything. Whenever the table topic master asks you a question, don't do anything. He will think that you have some net issues and move on to the next person. This is a trick which will be extremely useful in your life. Roar! Back to the table topic master.
Yeah, thanks, Advita. That's a very good idea. And if you ask me for this topic, then I'll say in a simple sentence, I'll try to find a tree nearby there, and I'll try to climb on the on the tree. But that way, I can save with the tiger. Yeah. So moving to the next topic. Yeah. So this topic goes to Kathy. Kathy, are you happy with what you're doing and what you are now? Tell few words on this.
Am I happy with what I am doing or what you are? I would say that I am currently satisfied with where I am. I've got an amazing husband. I've got a very nice house. I've got a puppy dog and a kitty cat that love me. Well, the cat loves me sometimes. Cats, you know how cats are. If I'm happy with where I am, I say I'm satisfied, but I'm always on an excursion toward my next goal. I'm constantly trying to evolve to continue to improve. So I'm satisfied, but I'm always continuing to move forward. That is what personal growth leaders are all about, right? I'm constantly, as soon as I close in on a goal, I actually start setting another goal before I've actually even completed that goal. That's the way. I don't know if any of you are familiar with people that have actually been bodybuilders, for example. When they go and do a show, they have this big letdown after the show because the show's done and then they have to go through a growing season. I kind of use the same kind of philosophy that I always start working on that next goal or start thinking about that next goal before I set one goal. So I'm satisfied where I am, but I'm always, one of the things that makes me happiest is working toward another goal that just keeps me happy. So I love this question. Thank you for asking, and I will send it back to you.
Thanks, Katie. So next topic, which goes to Kaushal. What the visualization as per you? What do you think about the visualization?
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. That's an interesting question. I've heard of the importance of visualization. It's not something that I have practiced very often. But when I have practiced it, I have found that it helps. When you have a challenge coming up, then visualizing yourself going through that challenge and succeeding often helps prepare your brain so that it can succeed. For example, when I used to run on long distances, I would visualize myself reaching every mile marker and then eventually the destination before I began the run. And I found that this actually did help me have a successful excursion. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm actually going to have another Toastmasters meeting after this. It will be a district Toastmasters meeting with other officers. I'll be giving inspirational words. I've been kind of nervous about this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize myself doing a great job. And that will help me give an excellent inspirational moment at the district meeting. So thank you for this idea, Mr. Topic Master.
Thanks, Kaushal. So moving to the next topic, which I would like to give 1 minute. Yeah, which I would like to give it to Sumesh. So how would you address or deal with bullies and teaser?
Thank you very much, Mr. Topics Master. It's a great question. And in the real life scenario, this does happen. Even though we don't want these things to happen, it does happen. I would say we could have 3 different strategies when we encounter these situations. The first strategy is to confront the situation. What do I mean by confront the situation? Talk with the person who is doing this, make them understand that what they're doing is not right. That's the first way of dealing with it. The second way of dealing with it is to understand where they are coming from. Is there some personal issues that they had in their own lives which is causing them to behave in this particular way? That is the second way. And the third way is the way of escalating it. And that should be the last way, I would say. So this way is to go to the higher people. For example, if this is happening between students, the student should try to deal with it initially, just initially they deal with it. And if they're not able to deal with it, they have to escalate it, they have to go to their teacher. And if teacher is not able to resolve it, they go to the principal. And it has to go on, it has to get escalated, and it has to be taken out from the root. That's the most important thing. At the end of the day, the life is an excursion. And in an excursion, there are different things that could happen. Some unexpected things could happen as well. And it's up to us to keep the calm and at the same time deal with it sternly. Over to you, Topics Master.
Yeah, thank you, Sumesh, for all the tips you give to deal with bullies and teaser. So moving to the next topic, which is goes to Sabaria. So what is the most precious things you have still preserved in your cupboard? Everyone preserves something as a memory, and what is yours? Sabaria. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, TTM. What is your most precious thing you have so reserved in your cupboard? Okay, thank you very much. Well, what is the most precious thing? Let me tell you, the precious thing that I keep, not in my cupboard, but the cupboard itself. I have saved a cupboard that my late dad made out of wood, and he made it himself, by his own hand. And I'm so proud, and I'm keeping it, and my family was so surprised that I still have it. I painted it and repainted it, and it's now white, and it's standing and sitting there right at the corner of my kitchen. And I'm proud to display my Tupperwares nicely there. And it is so important, it's so precious because it's from my late dad. He's someone who does carpentry, has a hobby, and I love it because that reminds me that is like a link to him. And it's so precious, so precious. And I adore it, I love it. And I think it's my dad. My dad is a fantastic person, and I want to be reminded of him. I love the things that he does, that he did for me, and that's why I am here. He's an orator. He speaks, and I'm taking after him. And I love him, and I have this cupboard in my house, and I love it. I'll never give it away, not to my sisters, not to anybody else. I will keep it, even if it gets spoiled. But at the moment, it is from made of good wood. It's not spoiled, it's there standing. And I'm proud. And I would like to ask you, Sanjit, what do you have, precious things that you preserve in your cupboard yourself? Thank you very much. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sabaria. So moving to the next topic, which I'd like to give it to Ricky. Trending ebook versus traditional paper book, which you find better and why? I think you're speaking on mute, Ricky. Yeah, unmute yourself.
For a moment, just imagine right now we are in 2050. There are no more physical books. There are only e-books. And who knows, one day there are no more physical Toastmasters meeting, only e-meeting. I hope that would not happen. And in the world like that, all things digital, how would you live? Will you be able to cope? Will you be accustomed to the new lifestyle? Waking up every day, looking at the screen. Even if you want to read your favorite newspaper, you no longer flip your newspaper, but you flip your screen. For me, I'm a little traditional, and I think I will not be so used to that kind of lifestyle. Luckily, I'm still living in 2020, where there is still a good balance between e-books and paper traditional books. Why do I like the traditional books? Because of the feel, because of the touch. I like to feel a physical object. I like to touch the pages. And I like the smell of the papers. All this encourages me to read and seek knowledge out of the books. And ladies and gentlemen, what about you? And what if there is no ebook, only paper books? Will you like that kind of lifestyle? Maybe no, because you might find ebooks more convenient to navigate and to search for something you want to find. So I think there's a good balance that we can strive between ebooks and traditional. Just like in Toastmasters, sometimes we like online meeting, sometimes we want physical meeting. There is a balance for everything. There is a time for everything under the sun. Table Topics Master.
Thanks, Ricky, for your suggestion. And I think you love traditional book rather than ebook, and that is why you kept the wallpaper background as a books. So we can take one topic.
Sanjeev, sorry to interrupt, but we just have 6 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
We can move on to the general
yeah.
evaluation session.
Yeah, okay, thank you then. Okay, I'm stopping here. Yeah, thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you very much, Sanjeev, for good set of topics. One of the things about topics is that it's so interesting that we could just go on, but our meetings are 1 hour meetings, so we just need to be conscious of time. So thank you so much. Now we go to the last part of the meeting, which is the evaluation, and I would like to invite Ricky to evaluate Arthur's speech. Thank you very much, Ricky.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is about managing client relationships for impact. Let's see how Arthur has managed his keynote speech for maximum impact. For one, I think, Arthur, you have started strongly as you contextualize your sharing to our situation. You asked me to imagine if I am a CEO or leader of organization, this will be important for me. So I can see the importance of your sharing, and I can also clearly see the outline of your sharing. There are 3 parts. All this set up the expectation right from the beginning, what to expect out of your speech. Secondly, indeed, you have outlined the whole speech very well as you place certain markers between the speech. As you say, now we are coming into stakeholder relationship. Now we are coming into communication, and there are 2 principles. And the first principle, listening, there are 2 things we need to do. So you have helped me to navigate around your speech without getting lost. Last but not least, I admire your speaking style. I think one important word in your speech is you. Your speech has been very audience-oriented and audience-centered as you keep on saying what is important for you. This could be good for you, and so on. You have made use of many examples like firing your staff that helps expound further your speech. And you have spoken in a pace that is understandable to me as you have made use of pauses in between. I can understand your speech, and that display your excellent presentation skills. My first minor suggestion for you is, I noticed that you have been looking at us by looking at the screen. Just that what is important is for us to be able to see you as if you are looking at us. So try to focus on the camera, and there will be a direct eye contact with the audience. Secondly, today is Saturday, and we are all speaking here rather casually. Just that this speech is about professional speaking. So you could imagine yourself, what if you are speaking professionally in an occasion like World Championship of Public Speaking? What would you do? You might want to put on a suit. You might want to stand up. You might want to anticipate there might be some background noise in your place, and how you're going to overcome that. So I think your speech has been engaging. It is a keynote style speech. You have displayed excellent speaking styles, as well as you have this compelling content for me to learn a lot. So thank you for your speech, and I hope you keep on impacting your client, making more sales, and who knows, one day you will find 10 million in your bank account. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ricky, for your wonderful report. I would like to ask our timer to please help us with the time of the speeches and evaluation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Arthur's speech was to be between 18 and 22 minutes. He spoke for 20 minutes, 52 seconds. For the table topic speeches, which were to be between 1 and 2 minutes, Arthur spoke for 1 minute, 33 seconds. Anvita spoke for 2 minutes, 34 seconds. Kathy for 1 minute, 50 seconds. Kaushal for 1 minute, 48 seconds. Somesh for 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Sabaria for 2 minutes, 1 second. Ricky for 2 minutes, 26 seconds. For the evaluation speech, which was to be between 2 and 3 minutes, Ricky spoke for 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much for a comprehensive timing report, Kaushal. Much appreciated. Now we go to our counter report. We'd like to invite Sabaria to please give us that. Thank you very much, Sabaria.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day. Well, normally our counter in personal growth is an excursion because normally you can't find any asked. But today I have been put to work and I found one. Kathy said during her grammarian role, Arthur, I normally enjoy Arthur's speech because normally you don't have the grudges or the pitches, but this time during your project speech, you have an R and and there was also an the was prolonged. And then in your speech, you had 5 2 and one more time is you did a double words. Okay. Then Sanjay, congratulations, because you have reduced your numbers of and R this time, but I still counted it. You had a total of 19, so that was 14 and then 5 R, and also the word so. So the linking word. Okay, there were 5 so's. Nope. After that, everybody did well. I think I did a double words or triple statement in my table topic. And I would like to say congratulations to the others. We did well. We are all advanced speakers. Back to you, TMD.
Thank you very much, Sabaria, for again a wonderful comprehensive evaluation of our counter report. Now I'd like to give the stage to Anvita to give us the grammarian and general evaluator report. Thank you very much, Anvita.
Thank you, Somesh. Kathy has sent me her grammarian report, so I'm just going to read it out. 2 people used the word of the day today, which was excursion. Somesh and Kathy used it. She has written that speaking grammar was excellent today. The written questions in table topics had a few grammatical errors, but were excellent and entertaining questions. This is the report from Kathy. Now I'll move on to evaluating today's meeting. First, I'll start with our evaluator, DTM Ricky. He covered all aspects of the speech. He spoke about the structure, the opening, the pace, the pause. Everything was well done. I just have 2 suggestions for you. You spoke about the speech being audience-centered. So there you could have advised the speaker to add some audience interaction too. For example, when he spoke about conflict, he could have asked, have you ever dealt with conflict in your life? Or when he spoke about communication and listening skills, he would have asked, were you ever disappointed because people didn't listen to you? Because his speech was 18 to 22 minutes. So in order to engage the audience throughout his speech, he could have used some audience interaction. You could have mentioned it while speaking about audience orientation. The second thing, you spoke about examples. You spoke about his boss firing people. So there I felt he could have used a story to tell it. For example, last year, my boss fired an employee. He told, "You're fired directly." The employee was very disappointed. So the second time, he used a different tactic. He took the employee to his chamber, explained the challenges, told all the difficulties he's facing, and then told that the employee was fired. Same thing, examples only in the form of stories so that the audience can grasp it even better. Otherwise, your evaluation was very wonderful. You even concluded it with different suggestions talking about the eye contact and all. Well done. I'm not supposed to evaluate the speaker, but I'm just telling this because of the various changes which the agenda went through today. Arthur took up this challenge of delivering the 18 to 22-minute speech in the last moment. Unfortunately, there was some electricity blackout in his area, so he ended up in a cafe. That explains the background noise. That's it. Now moving on to the evaluation of the entire meeting. Let us start with the TMOD. First of all, I would like to congratulate DTM Somesh for conducting this meeting very smoothly. Excellent selection of theme, International Mother Tongue Day. I didn't even know that such a day existed. Each and every person loves his mother tongue. You gave an opportunity for them to speak in their mother tongue. That audience interaction part was done very well. You even explained all the last minute changes in detail after you finished the audience interaction so that people get a clear view, because it got changed just 20 minutes back. Arthur was supposed to give an icebreaker, but then he changed it to 18-minute speech. You explained it beautifully and even allowed the speaker to explain his objectives. That was well done. Moving on to our table topic master, I would like to applaud your preparation. You had come with fantastic, colorful slides. You even had the name of the club in the first slide, which appeared very professional. Hats off to your professionalism. Second thing I want to commend is your sense of humor. Some of the topics were very humorous. For example, the tiger roaring from behind, or what are you going to do if you win 10 million lottery? There was a tint of humor in each and every topic. There was a mix of serious topics too, such as visualization or about goal. You ensured that humor and serious topics were balanced. I just have few suggestions for you. One is to reserve one or two topics to the guests in order to make them feel involved. You can do this by starting to give topics to minor role takers, such as the R counter or GE or somebody else, then proceeding to the guests. Because I noticed that you started from the major role takers, such as the speaker, who is Arthur, and TMOD. Now they already have screen time. Arthur spoke for 22 minutes. The TMOD is on the screen throughout the meeting. So probably you can give chance to the other role takers, or you can even ask for volunteers so that people who want to speak can come and speak up. The second thing is to use fillers after each and every speech, not only after some speeches, because I noticed that after Kathy's and Sabaria's speech, you hadn't used fillers. Kathy spoke about goals, so probably you could have said, yes, I agree with you, Kathy, that goals are important to have a direction in our life, or goals bring us happiness, something like that. You can just pick one or two words or sentences from the speech and proceed with the same. Same relating to Sabaria's speech also. The third thing is to observe the time. You can either check with the TMOD or with the timer to know what time you have. Usually we do 4 to 5 topics or 6 topics if time permits, but I think today we did more topics. So you can just check with these two people and then proceed with your session to ensure that we are on time, because we are already 8 minutes over time today. I have come to the end of my session. I hope I have not missed anyone, and our timer did a great job. Even when the screen is getting shared, I was able to see his timing card. That was well done. And coming to our R counter, who was Sabaria, I liked your detailed observational skills because you pointed the number of R's, the repeated words in the speaker's speech. You even compared the speaker's previous performance to today's performance. That showed your observational skills. I have come to the end of my GE report. Back to our TMOD, DTM Somesh.
Thank you very much, Namita, for a very comprehensive report again. All our role holders are really doing their roles in an extremely professional way. So congratulations, everyone. Before we end, I would just like to get quick update from Ray and Saragori, what their thoughts were on today's meeting. Ray first and then Saragori. Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, and certainly the guests that are here. Again, I enjoyed the meeting. This is about my third meeting, and I was able to make it, and I enjoyed it. Went fairly smoothly, basically, and I enjoyed the speech, the evaluations, the in-depth evaluations, general evaluators report, table topics, everything was just very good. Thank you for coming, and I will determine next what I do in terms of my Saturday morning excursion. Thank you.
Excellent. You use the word of the day as well. Congratulations, Ray. Thank you so much. Please go ahead, Saragori, what your thoughts are on today's meeting and how you found the Personal Growth Leaders Club. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Ravi. Good day to my fellow Toastmasters. Now, I was invited, I think, about the last minute by DTM Sabaria, and I decided to just join in. And I did have a fun time joining you all in this meeting, and I did learn a few things from the evaluations. And I feel that is a nice way that we can mingle and get to know people and expand our communication. So I really had fun and I enjoy what you guys are doing. So if I can join again, I will try my best to join again. And I hope to have a good excursion joining this club together as well. Right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Excursion, absolutely. So that's it. Our excursion today has ended. It was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. We were not sure in the beginning how we are going to go. Still, we went, and congratulations to each and everyone here today that we came together in this journey, which we do every week for 1 hour, and have a great time with each other. Thank you so much. And it's a great pleasure to be with each and everyone today. Have a great day.
Can we take a pic